And it was endless conversations. Like we would be talking inside the vehicle, and at nighttime, the next thing you know, the sun was coming up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just gonna bring you some of my words today, how I feel. Don't smoke. It's bad for you, and it can kill you. A lot of things in life can kill you, though, I'm starting to learn. And if you're gonna die, you might as well die by something you enjoy, right? Unlike Papoose, who's probably died from depression, holding down his woman for 6 years. If you don't know about Remy Ma and Papoose, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about today. He's a rapper from New York, and I think Papoose is from New York too. And Remy Ma went to jail, federal prison, for doing something bad. She went to jail for 6 years, so you know she got a six-piece. She was either stealing a lot or she doing something. And when she went in, she had a boyfriend at the time, and he was a rapper. And this rapper, Papoose, had some clout. You know, he can rap his ass off. He had a good sound at the time. He just didn't become as famous as he was projected to be, essentially. Anyways, I don't know how long they'd been together prior to her going and getting incarcerated, but she got incarcerated. 6 years, six-piece. 6 years is a long-ass time. And most people aren't going to be able to stay faithful over the course of the 6 years. Especially a guy. But it looks like Papoose did. He stayed loyal and he stayed faithful to her. Now, when Remy Ma got out, she was married to Papoose, or maybe they were married when she was in jail. And they were together. They were all over the place, and they were like the hot Hollywood Beyonce and Jay-Z couple for a good 6 months or so. And it was good to see a brother that held his sister down, and they had this relationship. And it was like, damn, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. They made it through their tribulations, tough times. I mean, every single week he was on the phone talking to her. 6 years. 6 years of loyalty. So, I guess boredom sets in. This is this boredom thing that happens with women. They just get fucking bored. And I'm making a video right now on body count. And we'll upload this, and I'll upload this later, but it has to do with why body count is different. High body count, low body count is different in men and women. It's because of the way that we see things, right? We see things. There's a reason you don't see a lot of women truckers sitting, looking straight out of the front view mirror, front view window for hours on end. There's a reason why guys dominate that field of looking ahead. Six years, along comes a guy who's better looking than Papoose. He's got more clout at the time because Papoose isn't as much in the media, the mainstream media, and you have to also understand that. And this is something that kind of goes on the Simone Biles thing. And this is a comment I saw on Accountability Commentaries channel, a black man's channel that holds black women accountable specifically. But women value men by their status. This is why women are having such a hard time with Simone Biles and her boyfriend, because she has more status than him. So in a woman's mind, when she goes for a guy, she's going for status. That's what she's after. And in Remy's Ma's mind at the time, Papoose probably didn't have as much status as the dude that had just come around the corner. This is why hypergamy is so dangerous, and modern women are so dangerous, because there's no cease to the end of their chase. You'll always find somebody that's better. You'll always find somebody that's smarter, faster, taller, better looking. That's just natural. That's how life goes. And I guess Remy Ma found her natural connection. Things start to get whatever. And then news starts to break. Rumors start to shuffle that Remy Ma is with this new guy. And then on top of that, what's even worse about it is not that she's with the new guy, but the new guy's starting to use Remy Ma to give himself more clout. To disrespect Papoose is one thing after he held down this woman for 6 years, but black men, and I'll be honest with you, black men specifically have this thing about taking each other's women. This weird ass shit. This weird, like, reverse cuck type of deal where they love taking each other and sleeping with each other's women. Anyways, he got with Remy Ma, and he started posting on the internet and really living it up. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sure at first it probably embarrassed Remy until she realized, like, you know what? Honestly, it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. She doesn't care. She doesn't care anymore. In a woman's mind, the 6 years was great, and I'm glad you held me down. But in her mind, she's ready to move on. She has to move on to bigger and better things now, because that was just a time period in her mind. Now she's ready to grow and to become bigger and to become better, because you have to understand, women are naturally hypergamous. Right? They're naturally hypergamous. They naturally want bigger and better. all the time, constantly. And they'll admit this to you. They've admitted it to me. And again, they justify it by saying, well, I mean, if I can get a better guy, why shouldn't I? And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but there'll always be another guy. That's the problem. So she got with this guy, and now things are all at a full out, head. They're divorced at this point. There's audio of all kinds of different types of allegations and admittance and different types of stuff like this. And 6 years down the drain for a woman that you just knew that you were going to have a lifelong career, family, and expectancy with. And Papoose is not alone in this regard. A lot of men are going to be left by the wayside for years of loyalty that you've given to women, because women can't remember those years of loyalty. Women remember present day, and the future. That is how women think. They don't think about the past. The only time a woman brings up the past is when it's a negative. I need you to hear me very, very, very closely right now. This is right. She always speaks about her exes. What happened in Remy Ma's mind was she realized that this guy Papoose was always going to be loyal to her. And when a woman recognizes that you're always going to be loyal to her, it becomes a negative in her mind. Now, in your mind, it's a positive. Well, I'm loyal to my woman. I'm faithful. I'm this and I'm that. In Remy Ma's mind, it became a burden and a negative. Just like that, she was ready to move on. She was ready to go to bigger and better things. And so the loyalty ended up becoming the negative once she was ready to move on. But of course, the loyalty is not going to be negative if she wasn't ready to move on. That loyalty would have been the best thing ever in the world. But how women are able to manipulate you as a man and manipulate situations is they'll get you to believe or think that your loyalty to them is annoying, right? You're smothering me. You're controlling. These are all negative terms or connotations in regards to you and your relationship with her, even though you as a guy know at your deepest, darkest core and heart that you are doing nothing other than offering admiration, adoration, respect, and loyalty. In her mind, this traps her because it makes her or pushes her to acknowledge, right, that she must also remain loyal. And this isn't good. The first reason this isn't good is because women are always meeting and they are always interacting with men. So in her day-to-day interactions, your loyalty, your blind dog walking loyalty, get the F away from me, is tying her down in her most basic interactions. Her knowing that she's always connected with you when she's talking with a guy, when she's meeting strangers, when she's giving out or deciding to give out her phone number or doing whatever, you are now in her way. It doesn't matter if it's business-wise. She knows that no matter what, you're not going anywhere and you're going to be with her for the rest of her life. In her mind, this is one of the worst things possible that can happen to her, because you have to understand that this starts to fight against her nature, the true self of who she is, which is to always be looking for the better. This goes and this fights against that. So in her mind, how can she move on to bigger and better things when she has you tying her behind? As a man, at a certain point, we're gonna be fine, right? We're happy, we're comfortable with what we're doing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You don't want to be out here trying to start new careers, start new jobs, start new this, start new that. No, it's not that time for this right now. It's time to know what you know, stick with what you know, and make that shit flip, right? But of course, you have to understand that in 2024 now, that expectation for women, or that expectancy or that access for women, has actually gone the opposite direction. They've gotten more anxious. They've gotten more wanting. That thing is so loud. They've gotten more needy. They've gotten more expectancy because there's a plethora of men that have offered themselves to them. So we've become more reserved with how we operate and how we act, our financials, our money, and they've become less reserved for how they operate, they act, their financials and their money, right? They're far more out into the field now at this point. They have their careers. They have everything. For the most part, modern women are modern men, with the exception that they can give birth. There's no difference at this point from a man and a woman. Feminism has caused them to want to fight extremely hard for all equal rights as a man. And they've gotten a lot of those rights. So as a result of them getting a lot of those rights, we now have this gender war or this gender skewed identity battle that we're having with each other, where you can be loyal to a woman for 6 years, dog you out, right? She's able to live as a man inside of a woman's body. She doesn't need, that doesn't offer her anything anymore. That doesn't give her security or peace or this or that. She already has her own security. She already has her own peace. That's women's jobs. That's women's education. That's women's money. Your loyalty offers nothing outside of that beginning stages of building her house. That foundational level. Outside of that, she's moved on to the bricks. She's moved on to the mortar. She's moved on to the drywall. She's moved on to the insulation and all the other parts to build her mansion, right? You're still laying at the foundation. And the foundation, make no mistake about it, is the most important part of a house. It's the most crucial part of the house. It is. But the foundation is what's laid first and finished first. Okay? Hear what I'm saying. The foundation is laid first and finished first. They don't lay the foundation last. They don't lay the foundation midway through the process of building a house. There are so many planes, I can't even help it. You know, we're by a base. No, the foundation is the first thing that to be laid down, and it's the first thing to be forgotten about. That's the natural order of how women look of relationships or look at relationships in 2023, right? Now, I know men can do this too. I get that, but women start this from a lot earlier. So, to partially conclude, your loyalty is damaging to her. Your loyalty is threatening to her. Your loyalty, love, respect, admiration, care, whatever term you want to use to describe you holding down a woman, is literally holding her back in her mind. It doesn't matter how much you give her, how much love you try to offer her, how much you try to convince her that, you know, without you in her life, she wouldn't have been able to make it through the trials and tribulations. She's already made it through the trials and tribulations. You helped her make it, and she's done with the trials now. She doesn't have to go through any more tribulations. You've served your purpose. The foundation is laid, and she's ready to start building the rest of her house, irrespective of whether or not you feel like she has the supplies, the contractors, the money, the budget, the know-how, the necessity. It doesn't matter. She's going to find somebody to build her a semblance of a house. Even if it's not the house that's supposed to be properly built the way it is, she's going to find somebody to build her something, and she's going to be happy with that. And if she's not happy with it, then she knows that she's always going to be able to go back to you and rebuild the foundation.
Every interview, he show his admiration and tell the world how his woman the greatest. Nigga, he held you down in prison for 6 years. I know it was nice, he cried big tears. He still by you by your biggest accomplishment, front row giving you big tears. Now y'all got a beautiful baby girl who oh so amazing. He be damned if he lose you to this bozo with braces. Nigga, hey, the world ain't never supposed to know what you and me going through. But this nigga behind closed doors running his mouth like a hoe supposed to do. Got niggas making blogs and YouTubes, people arguing in the comments if those posts is true. Cause them TMZ and shade room outlets, they only know you. Should've fucked with me, I wouldn't have ran my mouth. He took you out to eat the best foods. When you ain't feeling good, he put you back in the best moods. Yeah, he knocked him out because he be damned to keep seeing you get stepped to by some nigga he socked out and stood over like a step stool. If you think he didn't love you, he would have put up with all of this shit. Yo, papoose. Yes, sir. That's how you talk to your bitch, nigga.